Hello once again, Niner Faithful, and welcome back to the 2024 debut episode of 49ers Playbook on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. First, I want to say a big thank you to all of our members of JFA49.com and also our Patreon supporters. It is by your support that these videos and the channel are possible. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider joining them if you can. The first preseason game for the 49ers was a mixed bag. One thing we have to keep in mind is that teams have different approaches to these preseason games. A team like the Titans, who have a new coach and are trying to establish a new culture, were making a concerted effort to win the game. This was evident through the many quarterback sneaks, hard counts, draw players off sides, and opening up the pressure package playbook. The 49ers, on the other hand, were clearly trying to put players in positions to evaluate. With that, we'll take a look at some of the ups and downs of the game, whose stock went up, whose went down, and what to be looking for as the 49ers head towards their second preseason game. So let's jump to the film and check it out. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. A player that's made a ton of buzz this training camp has been Dominick Puni. If you followed my podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from, you know I've been very high on the rookie since the draft. He struggled with some technique in the run game, but was absolutely stellar in the pass game. One thing that I really like is his ability to understand the protection schemes and diagnose things in real time. So I'm going to dive into pass protection for a second, something I don't do a lot but is important to understand what's going on here. The 49ers are in a middle call protection. That's when the mic is between the defensive tackles and becomes the center's responsibility in pickup. If he blitzes, then the guards and tackles will take the defensive tackles and edge rushers. If the Titans come with outside pressure, then Puni will pass off the defensive tackle to the center and he'll pick up the second inside threat. You can see the protection go here. Banks' first step is inside to pick up the one technique. Zakel is looking towards the mic. This is what the Titans wanted. They're coming with a slot blitz, so they'll slant the defensive tackle and edge to draw the guard or tackle or both inside and get a free rusher off the left side. You can see McKivitz recognizes the slot blitz and moves to the most outside threat. Puni then has to recognize and shift from the defensive tackle in protection, let him go to the center, and then pick up the edge as the new second inside threat. The result is a beautifully clean pocket for Brandon Allen. Another rep here, I love the way he uses his feet and arm length to his advantage. The defensive tackle is trying a juke step to get Puni moving one way and execute a rip move the other. He keeps his balance and gets his hands right in the tackle's armpit, driving him wide and winning the rep. So with some more protection stuff, now the center is sliding away from Puni. He's going to have to step over and pick up the one technique and block in space. He steps over, the defensive tackle tries to use that against him with a swipe move, and watch his feet. He engages and keeps his feet moving. I love that he blocks with his feet. That's something that helps avoid those holding calls. Over and over again, he didn't just hold up in pass protection, he was excellent in pass protection. I would be shocked if he isn't the starting right guard week 1. Jumping over to the defense, D. Winters has shown some real flashes. It was definitely up and down for him in the game, but the positives outweighed the negatives in my opinion. Here, the Titans are going to run something that the 49ers really struggled against down the stretch last season. The crack toss, or also called the pin and pull. It's a play where they'll crack down on the defensive end and pull a tackle around on a toss play. You will probably remember this from last season against the Packers and the Lions. One issue was maintaining lane integrity and the safeties filling. This is where D. Winters is really coming along. He recognizes it and gets to the edge with urgency. This draws a double from both the tackle and the guard and allows Jair Brown to fill the cutback lane. Excellent lane integrity on a play they struggled against last season. But like I said, it was up and down. Here the 49ers are in cover 1 man and they're playing back out with the linebackers. That means the linebacker to the side the running back goes out into the pattern will pick him up in man coverage, and the other will act as a hole player. Winters is a step slow reacting, and there's also not great communication going on from Yasin on the outside. There should be an in call to alert him to a slant from the outside so he's alerted to an interference route. The two things cause him to have to take just a couple steps around the interference, so he's just late getting out on the running back. And then once he's there, he's got to track the near hip better to wrap up. He's got the physical tools, but these things need to clean up. What should be 4th down and a great stop ends up giving up a 1st down. For perspective, Curtis Robinson covered this same route and concept exactly how I'm describing later in the game. Again, here's another example of areas he needs to grow. The 49ers are in cover 9, which is a weak side safety cover 3 zone. As the will or weak side linebacker or Dre Greenlaw spot, oftentimes the will has to pick up the final number 3 receiver if he crosses the center point. The Titans are running a sloppy stick concept with a 5-yard out paired with a stick route, and then have a running back on a check and release. In this coverage, the Sam and Mike will end up picking up the stick concept. Winters then, with no in or under call from the Mike, will need to pick up the running back as he releases inside, as the running back is the final number 3. Instead, he gets locked too much onto the quarterback and follows the quarterback's eyes, who sees the stick taken away and moves to his check down, who's now wide open. But the very next play you see why they like him and the potential that's there. He's on a run blitz, so this isn't just amazing recognition, he's firing out of the snap, but the ability to do this is what makes him so exciting. So I'll use the next couple of plays to talk about first Mustafa, then Winters, and Mustafa. I'm showing them in the order I am because that's the order it happened in the game, which is important. So this first play is 2nd and short, 2nd and 2 to be exact, and the Titans are going to do what many teams do on 2nd and short, run play action to hit a chunk gain. The Titans are going with an old waggle play, with a play action fake inside one direction, then come with a quarterback boot action and a tight end on a corner route paired with a flat route. With the receiver motioning and the corner traveling, you see it's man coverage. Mustafa will have the tight end on the corner route and Winters the flat route. This is why you run play action on 2nd and short. Mustafa gets caught peeking in the backfield too long and lets his man run by him. If it was a better throw and catch, this is a chunk play. So he gets lucky that it's incomplete and it leads to 3rd and short. So on the next play, they come out and look to run the crack toss again. Like earlier, nice pursuit by Winters and maintaining lane integrity. Again though, gotta track that near hip better. But if we go back and focus on Mustafa from the start, he's the deep middle safety. And look at the closing speed and violence with which he gets to the ball carrier. The safeties coming up and making tackles on these plays was a huge liability in the playoffs. I truly think it's a big reason the 49ers drafted Mustafa, for his ability to come downhill and make solid tackles. Another player who struggled a number of times in the game with understanding of the defense was rookie Renardo Green. They're trying to have him play more slot, but he's got some issues to correct adjusting to playing a new spot at the NFL level. So I'm going to try and not get too much into the weeds here. The 49ers are playing a combo coverage. Put simply, it's a combo of cover 2 man and 2 zone. The weak side is in man coverage with safety help over the top. To the strong side, Renardo Green is responsible for playing the final number 2 on anything short and outside and matching anything out and vertical. The Titans motion late and have a full switch release. The original number 1 becomes the number 3. The original number 2 becomes the final number 1. And the tight end, who was the number 3, becomes the final number 2. I know, that's a lot, so you can see why Renardo Green got confused too. He caught the switch release, sort of. He stayed on the inbreaker from the number 1, who became the number 2, but didn't see the release of the tight end, which made that the final number 3, and doesn't recognize the tight end as the final number 2, which is his responsibility. And you end up with a bust in coverage. I saw a few things like this from him in the game. One guy who I think is on the outside looking in and that was on the team last year and will have an uphill battle to be more than a practice squad player is Taylor Hawkins. Overall, he had several lapses in coverage, and this play really encapsulates a lot of his game. The Titans are running this play that's become really prevalent around the league. The Bills have run it for ages. It's the play that Trey Lance broke his ankle on. It's a power play with a quarterback option built in. The defense actually plays it well, and Hawkins is one-on-one with the running back in position to make a big tackle. But he whiffs on it. That's about the quality of a lot of his play in this game. I really think he's got an uphill battle to make the active roster. Well, there's a few nuggets from this game on some of the risers and fallers. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and pop into the comments if you can. Make sure to have your notifications turned on so you can catch every episode of the JFA podcast every Monday and Friday this season, and also to be alerted to when a video goes live. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.